All right, so I'm back. I'm actually going to mess up some fabric on purpose. So one thing I forgot to mention about these, this is a single fold foot. It is a little easier to use, a little more forgiving than the rolled foot. And you can certainly run the fabric through this twice. There's more than enough room, so you can do, I think this is actually one that I did as a test. Actually put a couple lines in here, a couple stitches in here. But you run it through once, and then you run your seam or your hem through again. And what happens is you'll end up seeing two lines on the hem side and just one line on the back side. So that's the way to do that. So I'm going to try to mess this up. I don't have a ton of fabric to work with here, but I'll mess this up on purpose. Yep. Probably could have done this before I got on the start of the video, but it's whatever. Yep. All right, so there's basically two different things I want to show you. One, you can get this started. Well, actually, I think I might be able to accomplish the same thing with. Great. So you can hold your fabric like this. You can definitely not bother with the fold and just run it through. Stitch length back up. I actually want to be able to. Right, and so what you're looking for is right here. You want to see that the fabric is actually tucking itself under, and it will do that fairly well. What tends to happen, however, is that the lightweight fabric, you'll hit a point where it won't, and then as soon as it flips up, you've lost your roll. So let me see if I can create that right now. The other issue is that in order to get this thing to sort of do that roll, I have to apply tension to it. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus on that better. And when you apply tension and you end up pulling it, what happens is you shrink your seam, because again, it's going to conform to the minimum diameter of the roll, which is less than the specified width of the hem foot. So you end up with uneven hems and this popping out, and while it's faster at first and it seems easier, it actually in the long run just creates more headaches. Right, and so, yep, perfect, it's happening. So you can actually, you can see right here that the fabric is rolled back up. That's what that little crease right there is. So, let's see if I can. It's just starting to come out under the needle. So I'm not going to continue. I mean, what's going to happen is it's going to flip up, and then you're going to end up stitching. You're effectively, your seam's going to look like this. Your fabric won't have a roll. You'll just be stitching a really weird, puffy looking seam, and then you got to fix it. And then when you get it back in line, you'll have a twisty hem. It'll sort of it'll do like one of those when you get back in. Not the end of the world, but. So it just started to come out, and so the way to really handle this is just to you don't, unless you've gone too far, you don't really need to stop and take it out and rip your threads and whatever. I've had to do that when your bobbin messes up or you completely go off seam. If you go off seam and you really care about how your seam looks, you have two options. You just hold it in place and sew back over the crease and get this sort of this bent folded over hem, or you take it out and you lock a new stitch and you just continue, which is typically what I do. Just to, if it does happen, so you want to catch this before it gets too bad, or you get too far. So I've kind of caught it. And yeah, you just You do a few stitches manually. And again, what's happening is it's wanting to come off the feed dog. It's wanting to come to the left off the outer dog. So I'm going to get it closer to the edge. Great. And just re-roll your hem. Not the end of the world. We're making this stuff for fun, not to have it look perfect, although it's nice when it does. And that's it. And then you just continue. And I'll show you what that looked like when I'm done. What's the other thing that happens? Oh, the other thing that happens similar is that when you're sort of, let's see if I'll use the jellyfish method of grabbing it and using my finger. So you can kind of get back here, and you can point it. That works too. It worked really well just now. What I want to show is what happens when you start to, this fabric starts to slide off, and if this is a bigger piece, that's what would start happening. So I'm just going to simulate that. And you can see right here that my fabric, the edge of my fabric, is now on top of the guide. It's not rolling. And it's tempting to try to tug this back. Good luck. The feed dogs have too much friction, and you'll end up just really frustrating yourself trying to pull this back in. And if you are able to do it, what you're going to end up with is you're going to get one of those foldy seams. So same idea. Take this off. See how bad it is. Again, it's come way inside the feed dog. Let me get a better pointer. The feed dog's here, and the edge of the fabric's here, so it's moved by 1/8 of an inch. And yeah, what would I do? Well, in this case, what I would do is just kind of remake the seam and get it out to the point where I want it. So this is now the seam width I want, and honestly, I would just get this back out, and now I'm back where I want the fabric, and needle down. I've already put a hem on here, but just to show you, you can re-roll a rolled hem. I'll just put that back in there. Continue. Now, if you get too much fabric, so let me get a nice, and this has already got a seam in there. Let me exaggerate this and get a really big fat under seam here. See what that looks like. What else can I show you on this? It does help. So having like a, as many people know, when you put a any sort of stitch in something, it makes for a convenient folding point, holding point, guide. And so right now this is just nicely like right on the edge of the foot there, and because I've already got this in, I can. Oh well, I thought so. See right here, it's already happened again. And this is a heavier seam, so this actually by all reasons should be easier to fold, and it's already folded back up. Again, it's an issue with these attachments being made for heavier fabric, and that's the main reason that I don't like, that I tend to not do this, because it is increases the odds that happens. That's why I like to just kind of hold it. But to each their own. All right, so let me just get this out of here. And let's take a look at what we ended up getting here. All right, so there's the beginning. Things were nice, and then we lost our roll, or you can see right there the pinking shear came out, and the back seam looked alright. So I just started over, and I ended up getting a little bit of a wobbly stitch right there. but I got it retucked. What do we do next? Next, we ended up pulling this out, and we pulled it so that this was not wrapping properly, and you can see that my hem got narrow. And that's what happens when you pull too much on using these attachments. You end up with narrow hems. And I caught it, stopped it, made the hem, went back out to where I wanted, and continued. So I got this little camel hump in the hem. And then I gave it too much fabric, and what happened is it's fine, it's just a heavier seam. It's a little puffy, and it came back out again, or it rolled back up under itself, and now I've got multiple edges that are sticking out. So those are some of the things. But look, I mean, I just made 3 mistakes on purpose, all of which happened in the course of using these. And, you know, look, if you're not selling it, or you're not putting it in a, like, who cares? That works. You got your fabric trapped, your raw edge is enclosed. This isn't gonna give, you know. But with some practice, again, this is with the should be holding this over here. This is with 2 passes through the single fold, and this is the single pass through the. And you know what? I'm really happy with that. Yeah. All right. That's all I got. Good luck. Thanks.